Welcome to day 19 of Shadowhunters month, and today I'm going to be talking about why I love Emma and Julian. Of course, Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorne from the, well, I suppose you could also say the Mortal Instruments, they're in book 6, but mainly because they're main characters, they'd be from the Dark Artifices, which is how Google says to say that. But you know, Artifices I think is also acceptable, so you know, you do you. But yeah, this is another kind of couple in the Shadowhunters Chronicles that I just absolutely adore, and I wanted to talk about why that is. So I'll be talking about them as individuals and them kind of as a pairing. So I think it makes sense to kind of start off with Emma, because she is kind of the protagonist of the Dark Artifices. She is the one we mainly follow in terms of her point of view, etc. And I think it can be said with both of them, why I love them both, is that we had this connection to them in the Mortal Instruments, because we kind of saw them when they were quite young. We saw everything that they'd gone through. So we kind of lived that with them. So we had this emotional attachment already to these characters, and then we saw them again in Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. So that kind of furthered this bond we had with them. And then when they became main characters in the Dark Artifices, we had this history with them already, which kind of really helped us to kind of connect with them and really love them both as characters. So that kind of gets us off to a good start with why I love Emma and Julian. But in terms of Emma, it's a similar thing, first off, in the way I really love Jason Clary, because I feel like she very much embodies the theme of family, which is something I very strongly connect to. Because, I mean, she lost her family, eventually. Her parents were murdered. And then she kind of had to find a new family in the Blackthorns, and she like lived with them. And we all know how that's gone down. So she's formed these really powerful bonds with all the Blackthorns and kind of become a maternal figure to a lot of them, because a lot of them are very young, with Julian kind of being the more paternal figure. So kind of seeing her lose her family and then have to raise one of her own is kind of an interesting parallel and a very interesting story that I really, really like. And Emma's just kind of, well, I'd say taken to it like a duck to water, but she's had a lot of stuff thrown at her. But I feel like she's really taken it in her stride and done the absolute best she could. And I love that resilience and theme about her as a character. And the fact that she, even in the first place, bounced back from losing her parents so young, and being so determined and intelligent to work out, who was responsible and kind of stopping them, and dealing with all that emotional pain and trauma, and not let it completely control you and let you completely go off, the rails, I think speaks volumes about how incredible Emma is as a person. And she's going through all this emotional pain and torment, and not just because of her parents and Malcolm Fade and everything, but also because of her feelings for Julian. But she goes through all that, and she still makes time for everyone else's problems, which I just absolutely love about Emma. So that kind of leads on to my next point about the friendships she's made and the maternal side she shows with the Blackthorn children. It's just such a beautiful kind of relationship she has with them all. They really all look up to her, really took her in as their own. And that's testament to Emma as a character, because she's just such a strong, powerful, character, and I really, really love that. And the friendship she's made with Christina and Clary in particular, I think those two that I really highlight, and I suppose Judith as well, really kind of showcase what an incredible character and an incredible person Emma is, because if you're friends with someone as brilliant and beautiful and amazing as Clary and Christina, you've obviously got to be a pretty damn good person yourself. And I just love, I think it really helps for Emma to have a relationship like she does with Christina in particular, where she can just have a laugh and talk her problems through with someone who understands. And I always love it when they showcase the friendship that Emma and Christina have kind of made. It's one of my favourite things about the Dark Artifices books, so I really love that showcasing of that friendship, and Emma's a big part of that, and that's why I love her. And she also, I look up to this side of her in the fact that she takes a lot of risks, which I don't think is something I particularly do. I'd like to, but I just do not have the self-confidence to a lot of the time. But I don't think Emma has a lot of self-confidence either, but she takes the risks anyway, and I really look up to that about her. She really probably shouldn't explore a romance with Julian, considering the whole Parabatai curse thing, but she takes that risk for love, and she puts her life in danger so many times to save other people and to find out who killed her parents. She takes all these like dangerous risks that, you know, are huge risks to her life, but she just gets on and does it anyway, and I love that about Emma. She's just such a strong, kind of independent person. And while I think her love for Julian, her relationship with Julian, is a big part of why I love her character, there is so much you can say about just her as a person, and the things she's had to live through and survive, even before she started falling in love with Julian. So that's kind of why I love Emma so much. And Julian, oh man, Julian is one of my favourite characters in all the Shadowhunters. Have I posted that video already of my favourite characters from the books? I feel like I have. If I haven't, spoiler, he's on that list. I can't remember what order I've done these in. I filmed them all completely out of order, these videos, so... Oh well. Yeah, the thing with Julian is, he's got this huge weight on his shoulders right from the off. You know, his feelings for Emma kind of eating away at him, even though she's his Parabatai, and he was kind of having those things even before the ceremony, I think. So that's interesting in itself. But he also had to look after this entire family, and also run an institute, but not let anyone on the secret that he actually is basically running the institute himself while looking after all his family, and still trying to, you know, keep himself alive as well. He had so much strain on him, so much weight on his shoulders, but he put on a brave face for everyone, and I think that's just an incredible thing, and it's a testament to the strength of Julian, physically and emotionally, to deal with all of that day in, day out. And it shows he's intelligent, and he's very smart, and he's very passionate and loyal to his family. He will do anything to protect them and to keep that LA Institute going. And I think that's just a remarkable thing that Julian does, and that's one of the many reasons I love him. Very similar in the way Jace and Will Herondale both kind of put on a brave face even though they're going through a lot of pain and a lot of torment inside. It's a character trait I just eat up, and yeah, it's one of my favourite things about some of the characters in the Shadowhunters verse, and Julian's another great example of that. And yeah, also, you know, his loyalty and his bravery. He's very kind of determined to, you know, help Mark through his kind of ordeal. He's very loyal to Emma, of course, because he loves her, but also she's his Parabatai, and that's kind of what needs to come first. And he's very loyal to his family. He will, you know, he would absolutely die for any single one of them. And hopefully he won't in the third book when that comes out. Oh, please. I need Emma and Julian to find a way to end up together. Otherwise, I will just be destroyed. But yeah, I really love how loyal he is to everyone, and I mean particularly his family. He is quite the embodiment of what a family should be, just in that one person, and I think that's a reason I love Julian as much as I do. And in a very similar way, Emma has like this maternal side with the Blackthorn family. He has the paternal side. He's very much a father to most of his siblings, and that's a very kind of interesting dynamic to explore. So Julian being the reason they can explore that, I think is quite wonderful, and a really beautiful kind of story for such a young guy. You know, you often forget just how young Julian is, and he's raising a family of his own, and they're his brother and sister. You know, you almost feel like it shouldn't be his job to do that, but that's the, you know, the hand life has dealt him, so he has to power through, and that resilience is just incredible. And also, I very much connect to him in terms of his artistic side. Obviously, he does a lot of painting and stuff, and drawing of Emma a lot in his big room. And I love like drawing and painting and all that kind of stuff. I do kind of consider myself quite an artistic kind of person. I may not be good at it, I don't know, that's open to debate. but I like doing it nonetheless, and it's one of my favourite pastimes is just, aside from reading or playing video games or whatever, watching TV shows, and filming myself doing it, and editing. But apart from all that, one of my favourite pastimes is to just draw or paint or colour something in, make something. I just love being quite creative and artsy like that. And that's a side of Julian that I really, really like and really connect with. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons he managed to deal with everything that he had to go through and all the weight that was on his shoulders, because he could just take 5 and kind of paint the stress out of him and paint his feelings, kind of just get it out there into the universe and make his mark. Mark Blackthorne. It's his brother, funny. Anyway, terrible pun. Yeah, I just really connected to that artistic side of Julian, and I really like that about him. They're both very incredible people, and you just get the sense that Emma's just a genuinely lovely person, and Julian's just a genuinely lovely guy as well. So I love them, even as individuals. And then they come together, and my love for them just explodes. One of my favourite things about the pairing of them, I'd be interested if anyone doesn't actually want them together. That should be interesting. I'm sure there must be people out there who don't, but I really do. I think it's such an untraditional love story with them, particularly in the world of Shadowhunters, because obviously they're parabatai, and it's kind of against the law to be romantically involved with your parabatai. And there's this whole parabatai curse, as we kind of found out about, and Jen kind of explained to Emma about. And how we deal with that whole situation, we'll find out when the final Dark Artifices book comes out next month. Not long at all, like 2-3 weeks. Very exciting. So I really like how they kind of gave us this romance in Shadowhunters. It's a bit different to all the other ones we've seen, because it truly is forbidden, more so than any other, I think. Because they have this forbidden love, but they love each other anyway, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. And obviously there's a lot of angst that goes alongside that, but they have given into their feelings on more than one occasion. But I think it's just such a kind of bittersweet kind of love that they have, because they shouldn't really be together, and there is every possibility that they won't ultimately be allowed to be together. So it's very interesting following along that story, and I find myself really rooting for them as individuals, and therefore I root for them together as well. And I really hope they find a way to be together, because they bring out the best in each other. They really are a force to be reckoned with when they're together, in terms of being warriors as parabatai, but also emotionally. I think they really help and soothe each other. Julian really helped Emma through her parents' death, and at the same time Emma could help Julian through losing Mark when he got kidnapped and stuff like that, and everything they went through together. You know, they have so much history together, and I just love that. And hopefully Emma will be able to help Julian through Livia's death at the end of the second Dark Artifices book. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to seeing the aftermath of that. It's going to be heartbreaking. Just that scene alone when Livia died. Ugh, Julian's reaction. My god. So yeah, that kind of untraditional twist in the tale of their love story in terms of the lore of Shadowhunters, I just really, really love. And I really love their passion for each other, not just physically. Obviously there is that there, as we've seen. But they're just passionate about each other as individuals. You know, Emma has this passion for Julian's creative side and his paintings and everything. Julian is passionate about Emma's determinism. Determination. I don't think determinism is a word, I just invented that. Determination to kind of find her parents' killer and everything like that. They are kind of inspired and in awe of a lot of different traits about one another. And they're just passionate about each other as just friends and as parabatai and not just lovers, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. They have chemistry no matter how you view their relationship, which I think is something not every single couple has, so I think it's just a lovely, beautiful thing. And then I also really find it interesting with them, the fact that there's this parabatai curse lingering over them, and yet they seem to be so strong when they're together, and it's almost like a juxtaposition that everything in the universe is telling them they can't be together, you shouldn't be together, it's wrong, you're cursed if you're together, and yet they always find a way to be together, and they truly are a force to be reckoned with together, and the strength they share with each other is just incredible, and it's kind of the whole, you know, against all odds we rise and we come through it, and every battle that they face, I feel like Emma and Julian will hopefully get through it, as long as they're together, and that speaks volumes about their relationship to me. And yeah, just the unwavering kind of love, no matter what's been kind of thrown at them, be it when Julian thought Mark was dating Emma, or they found out about the Parvati curse, or you know, they decided to talk to Robert about what was going on with them and try to solve the situation somehow. No matter what was kind of thrown at them, they still had this undying and unrelenting love for each other, and that sheer commitment, even if they couldn't be together, they're still committed to each other. It's a beautiful kind of story for them, and I just really am rooting for them to find a way to work it out. Even if they can't be Parvati anymore, I feel like they would choose not to be, so they could be together. Obviously we don't know how that's all going to get resolved. Well, Cassandra Clare and her publishers probably do, but we'll find out very soon. I'm very nervous about how this is all going to pan out, but I just love Emma and Julian as characters, and I love the very unique but powerful bond that they've kind of shared ever since we first met them when they were quite young, and they had this little system where they had a secret way of communicating and stuff, and seeing how far they've come since then, and how they've truly grown into each other is a beautiful story with some beautiful characters, and I love them both. I love them together. I'm very excited to see where their story's going to kind of take them next. Should be very interesting, and I'm just, I'm very nervous, but I'm hoping they'll find a way to work it out, because after everything they've been through, I think they really do truly deserve it, and they truly deserve each other. They're both just really good people, so hopefully they'll work it out. But yeah, that is why I love Emma, that's why I love Julian, and that's why I love them both together. A very unique kind of situation in terms of Shadowhunters, and that just, you know, goes to show how special they are. So yeah, that's why I love them, and until another video tomorrow, thanks for watching.